So thank you for joining us. I mean, it's been more than 1 year that we started this, and it keeps getting better. Now we are around HR issues. When we are done with HR, we move to another topic. So basically, there is no master here. There is no, this is not, I keep saying it. We are not here to prove to anybody that we know anything, because we don't even know anything. So all of us, both people at this end of the divide and, you are the other side, all of us are here to learn. And that's why we prioritize case studies, so that it's going to be, the discussion will be very robust. It will be contributory. And without much ado, we'll just move straight into the business of the day. Now, please, Mrs. Otter, share that. Okay, let me just share the main network so they know we are live. Okay, great. So we shared two case studies. I've shared. Don't worry.
Yes,
two case studies. I shared two case studies, and we will just start right away, because usually time they agree us finish the case studies. I want to believe we have all looked at these case studies. I've shared them on all platforms via email, Eventbrite, via on our WhatsApp platforms. So it's basically talking about the second one. The first one, we've dealt with it to a level. If time does not permit us, just leave it, because we've done last week. We really treated majority aspect of that case study. But if time permits, we can just look at it, the other part that we didn't touch. So today we want to look at this one, very interesting story, the story of Netherlands. The story of Netherlands, and they operate rail system, and I'm just summarizing the whole story because we may not be able to read. They operate a very wonderful transportation system there, where we have ProRail. Yeah, ProRail is the one managing their transportation system, and they currently have issues, because their population is increasing in Netherlands, and the rails are getting old, and the amount of trains available will not be able to meet the projected population. The population is increasing, and they expect it to increase with about 30%, in the next 10 years. And so there's need for them to also prepare, to accommodate additional 30% of, what they currently accommodate. So the rail is getting old. That's the train tracks. They are getting old. The amount of trains available can't even carry, can't take care of the needs in the next 10 years. Both the human needs and the, cargo needs. It cannot take care of it. Another challenge that we, when I read the whole story, another challenge that we discovered is that the system currently are using is putting a lot of pressure, because the infrastructure is getting old. They need to be able to digitalize some of their operations without actually digging deep into their purse. They don't want to spend, they don't have money. That's what it means. And they want to digitalize operations because some of the infrastructures are getting old. So what this means is that, there will be change of jobs for a lot of them. there's going to be a lot of change of jobs. They want to be able to increase their capacity over the next 10 years. And so they are going to automate and digitalize a lot of their systems. So this means that many employees, such as the 700 trained traffic controllers and the 150 operational planners, we need new skill. They need new skill. They are currently analog people, waving flag, But if they are going to be relevant when, ProRail digitalizes the train system in Netherlands, that means they will need a new set of skills to be able to use the new technologies. It's that they conform or, they step aside. Luckily, the material we are looking at today, provided a succor for HR, there won't be a need for us to start sacking people, in the next 10 years, because, as the case study provides, in the next, I think around 2028, a lot of people will retire. So as they retire, things will take shape on its own. So that's the summary of what we currently have. And there is this part of the case study that says ProRail partnered with internal experts, and Bright and Co. and HR consultancy to develop a data-driven strategic workforce planning model. And the process involves understanding the current workforce context, building workforce availability models, identifying factors influencing workforce needs, and refining the models based on management feedback. So the model yielded valuable insights, one of which is the natural turnover of employees. By 2028, a lot of them will be retiring. So aligning with the projected reduction in needed train traffic controllers. Now, the questions. Number one, how does natural turnover align with the projected reduction in the number of train traffic controllers needed due to increased automation? So this is a simple question. And so I'm like the panelist here. All of us are, I'm like the moderator. I mean, how do we call that title in panel discussions? I'm like the moderator, all of you, yes. We have 41 people on this call currently. Okay, 42. All of us, 42 people are the panelists. So question one, how does natural turnover align with the projected reduction in the number of train traffic controllers needed due to increased automation? So you want to contribute, just raise your hand, and you can just go ahead and make your contribution. So over to you. Guys, so yeah, now so that we look at this together, then we'll go and sleep, and tomorrow is even holiday, so no need to rush, but again, we need to go to bed early. How does natural turnover, of the staff align with the projected reduction in the number of train traffic controllers needed due to increased automation? Who want to help us? Nobody wants to help us. Okay. I just basically feel, we've been told that many train traffic controllers are nearing retirement. Okay, Idris, please go ahead. Thank you for coming to my rescue. Because you don't even know if I know it or not. So you coming in, I mean, you're solving a lot of problem for me. Thank you.
Well, I'm not. I don't know if I'm solving a lot of problems. Hi everyone. Good evening. So I mean, like you had rightly mentioned, the thinking for me. I mean, off the top of my head, the first two things that cross my mind is one, for us to check, say, the natural turnover between now and the next 10 years. Maybe two data points would be one, the current age for the workforce as is, right? So how many more years seemingly do they have before retirement? Then second bit might also be to check, say, turnover data in the last maybe 1 year, for example, to use that as benchmark for a forecast to say, okay, so if you've had maybe a certain percentage of people leave month on month or year on year, we can use that as a tool or as data point to reference our forecast for the next couple of years, and then we can now make a decision off that. I mean, off the top of my head, these are the two things.
Thank you very much. I mean, you really nailed it. We've been told that many train traffic controllers are nearing retirement, by 2028. So the natural turnover aligns, well with the projected reduction, in the number of train traffic controllers needed due to increased automation, all these digitalized operations they want to put in place. So they leverage this natural attrition. The company managing this can manage the reduction in headcount without the need for major layoffs. They don't need to start sacking people. Everything will fall into place on its own. So that's that about that. Now, question 2, how can ProRail identify the specific skills and knowledge required for employees in a digitalized traffic control environment? So how can ProRail identify the specific skills and knowledge required for these are simple ones. We will soon enter, some of the tough ones. Okay, EM, I think you omitted.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I was looking for the raise hand function. I can't find it. Okay, so how can ProRail identify specific skills and knowledge required for employees in a digitized traffic control environment? I think the first thing they need to do is to conduct a skills gap analysis amongst the team. So that will enable them know whether who currently has some sort of technical or technology knowledge, as to what they want to do. So it makes it easy. There are some people who already have such technical knowledge, are very familiar with technology. The older workforce, that they love doing everything manual. It could be that even part of the older workforce, some maybe in the mid-range might also be very familiar, enthusiastic to use technology. So that's one way. So we identify those ones, and then this either by directly interacting with them or interviewing or observing what they do, we identify those ones. So that's one. And the second thing is also to collaborate with, if they have some consultants or companies, especially the company that is coming to help them to deliver that solution. So they can partner with those ones and then see how, for those who maybe are enthusiastic, how they can provide some sort of training to help them, to upskill to the level that they require, instead of saying we need to take out everybody and bring in new people. So it could be that this technology that they are trying to deploy is not that difficult, okay? So maybe it's just a little refresher that people will need to get in order to be able to use the system. So I think those are the few things I just wanted to add.
Very much. You actually nailed it. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Sorry, if I break off, just know that somebody has been trying to call me. Nigeria is the same phone we used to call that we used to connect. Yeah, so okay, you nailed it. I mean, but before I comment, let's Welcome, Chinwe Saliu, BFO. Yes, you have the floor.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay. I just wanted to add in one step I thought might be useful. Maybe it would also be important at the beginning to do some type of success profile in that would align to the new vision, right? And so having that success profile for each employee would then support the skills assessment that needs to happen. So that's sort of the benchmark against which the assessments would happen to be able to determine where's each person across that success profile, and then move on with the rest, whether it's interventions, trainings, or whatever might be required. So I just thought to add on that success profile. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Fantastic contributions. Fantastic contributions. I mean, we need to identify the skills gap, conducting two-part analysis, the job task analysis, identifying the specific task, involved in the current and future traffic control operations. And then, you do the skills inventory, assessing the current skills and, knowledge of their trained traffic controllers and planners, as EM rightly said, and by comparing these two analyses, you can identify where there are gaps, between the current skill sets and the skills needed, for the digitalized, environment. For example, if the current controllers need training in data analysis, systems operation skills for the European rail, what they call this traffic management system, you just provide whatever skills gap you identify, you provide. So without flogging issues, let's move to question number 3. I hope we are managing time well. Okay. 53 of you on this call. Wow, thank you very much. It's making the discussion more robust. Okay, should ProRail prioritize reskilling current employees or focus on hiring new talents with digital skill sets? Should ProRail prioritize reskilling, current employees or focus on hiring new talents with digital skill sets? And how can they optimize this strategy? EM, over to you, sir.
Okay, so for me, I think they should balance their approach.
Okay.
They should do both by what I mean by both is that they should combine reskilling current employee and then also infusing new ones. Okay. So because if they want to just say take out everybody and bring in new, you're going to disrupt the whole operation. So for those who currently, because you need that knowledge, the knowledge that the historical knowledge that people have in that operation.
Institutional knowledge, yeah.
Institutional knowledge, yeah. So it will help. So for those who are ready to move, to upgrade, it would be nice to ensure that they are reskilled. And that also tells a good story about the company, that they don't just throw away those who have brought them to where they are, now start looking for new people. Then in addition, they can then infuse some new people. Then in terms of the strategy that they can put in place to optimize, what they can do to optimize their strategy. So number one, I think we've shared a bit of them. Number one would be to assess existing skills and potential for reskilling. So number two, identify critical skill gaps. Number three, develop a comprehensive training program. Number four, provide incentive for reskilling. So that will attract more people who don't even have the interest to want to reskill. But when you are bringing technology, people think that you want to now sack them, take away their jobs. The machines are coming to take away their job. But if they see there's incentive, they will not sabotage the process. And then we foster a learning culture where, because we reward everyone who is interested in continually improving their knowledge, they all want to now learn and share. Encourage people to learn. As they learn, they share. Then if there is an opportunity to also collaborate with educational institutions that will confront either educational institutions or these massive online companies to ensure that people continue to be retrained and retrained. And then in terms of their recruitment process, so they also need to ensure they streamline that, make sure that people that they are attracting are those who have those digital skill sets that they want. In terms of people that they want to bring on board, they should have a mix. So it shouldn't be just one particular generation, it should be a mix that would help them ensure that there's that balance. So those for me are the approaches that I think they should have.
All right, thank you very much. I mean, you've nailed it. It has to be a mix. They need to identify employees with strong performance records, and demonstrated ability to learn new skills. I mean, these individuals are more likely to successfully adapt to the digital transformation, and then you train them. You based on the skills gap analysis, you develop training programs tailored to the specific needs of the workforce. So I mean that's it. You actually nailed it. So question 4: what strategies can ProRail implement to address resistance or concerns from employees regarding automation and digitalization? So what's another name for this? I deliberately tweaked the question this way, but this is basically a part of change management, So the floor is open.
Stakeholder engagement.
Yes, stakeholder engagement. Yeah. So so who wants to contribute? All contributions are valid. I mean, in literal terms, even if you don't know the jargons, EMs and co will come and bamboozle with here. Just say it the way you understand it. This is why we are here. Yes, Chinwe.
Yes, I think that with all transformations, you can never over communicate. So it's important to communicate, and communicate. Because normally what you find is once there's an announcement of massive changes, there's anxiety across the workforce. So it's important to take them along every stage. You just make sure that there's appropriate communication.
Communication. Thank
you. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Okay, Iggy, Honora, you have the floor. Iggy, Honora. Okay. Yeah, please shoot. You've unmuted. Okay, while we're waiting for him or her, Olawale.
All right. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
We're saying what strategies
yes.
to address resistance. Okay,
potential resistance, yes.
Yeah. So first thing is, of course, we want to communicate where we are and where we are going to. Number one. Number two, for this is change management, as you mentioned, we want the employees to be part of, let's say, the decision-making process, to say, make them own the change. Okay. When people are involved in the change process, sometimes it's easier, right, for them to flow with the required changes. And another thing that we want to do is to add some sort of motivation to learning. Okay, you learn this, you get this, right? So how do you put that? I think EM says something.
What's in it for me? What's in it for me?
Yeah,
right.
Make people see what they gain by being involved in the learning process, right? And all this, when you make people want to learn, okay, let them see the gap that they have and how the learning process would improve or increase their worth, right? I mean, people want to do things for themselves most of the time. Okay, and that's what this is going to do. Let them own the change. Yes, basically all
Yeah,
of
don't
this.
impose on them, have their buy-in. That's what you mean, have their buy-in, let them own it and run with it, and I feel it's their vision, even though it's your vision, but sell it to them and let them own it. Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, I think we have a communication from Iggy. It says, take feedback at key moments in the change journey and demonstrate ability to be nimble and flexible. Yes, feedback. Thank you very much. That is already noted. Okay, Iggy, are you here now? Okay, I think we are still having audio challenge. Pray accurately.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Okay, my own little contribution is with regards to in terms of communication, as the earlier speaker said, when we are communicating, I think we should emphasize more on the benefits they tend to gain than the challenges that they will intend to encounter. We should sell more of the gain should be more visible. So when they see that they have a lot to gain in it, then they tend to like a part of reduce the kind of resistance. But when they are now looking at what the challenges will be, what are the challenges are more, or probably those that are driving the change, they are looking more on emphasizing what the challenges will be, it will discourage them and they will tend to resist. So in communication, emphasis should be made pronounced on what they tend to gain, what the benefit than the challenges they will encounter.
Yes, what's
Thank
in
you.
it for them, So before you go, what's in it for them in this one now? What are we going to tell them? We are digitalizing operations, so what's in it for you? Pray. Okay, I think she dropped the call. Okay,
Hello.
Pastor, yes, can you hear me? Are you here?
So this is Ngozi, otherwise Iggy. Am I audible now?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that. I had to change the IC.
Okay, Pray, please hold on. I'll come back to you. I know the question I asked you. What's in it for them? But let's take Iggy Ngozi. Yeah.
Okay. Hi. So good evening, everyone. So I was going to say one of the methods I found useful in driving, change is to find what I like to call your allies, your collaborators, or your Trojan horses. So in the workforce, there's always a group of people, 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, that will be more susceptible to change. They're more accepting of change. So you basically turn those ones into your marketers. Because the truth of the matter is that sometimes HR managers, they cannot reach, for want of a better phrase, deep down into the hearts of employees, but their colleagues can. So if you get their colleagues to buy into this, using the new technology, learning it, understanding it, using it, and showing them practical benefits, it makes your work faster, it's less stress, possibly it's even more health friendly because you're inhaling less dust and mildew and so on from old files and papers and so on. I find that when you have those people marketing the change to their colleagues, it makes life a lot smoother and a lot better. It's not just management imposing, it's their colleagues actually marketing them and telling them this is a good idea, this is something you should buy into, this is something that should help. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I mean, that solves it. Not you, because they may not even, they may feel, of course, they will always see you. HR is always in the middle. Management sees you as part of the people sees you as part of management. So when you are coming to sell something to them, it's like, it's coming to sell their vision, to us. But if it's their colleague selling it to them, they buy quicker. Thank you very much. I mean, that's a valid one. Yeah, Pastor. Okay, I asked before I call Pastor again. I think pray. Yes, I asked what's in it for them in this one. I think you mentioned that we should communicate what's in it for them. So in few seconds, can you tell us what's in it for them? what's the name for the staff of ProRail? This digital transformation that I want to take place. Okay. Okay, Ngozi, yeah, thank you very much. Okay, so is she here now? Okay, Pastor Ogenyi, you have the floor.
Yes, I think what I was going to say, pre Ngozi's comment is something that could happen before getting to that point. It's about stakeholder mapping, right? So you categorize your employees based on those who are for the change. And so my comment was on the need to actually map the stakeholders, the different employees, and put them in buckets in terms of how much impact they can positively make towards accomplishing what you want to do in the change, right? And then from that grouping, you can have people who are champions and the like. So that was my comment. So when I heard Ige's statement, I said, yes, so that's in line with what I wanted to say. It's good to map employees and then approach the communication and approach the change depending on where people fall in that 4 block, the 2x2 matrix. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, so I think we've dwelt enough on this question, so we move to the next. The next is, what is the ideal balance between human expertise and technology in future traffic control operations? Still talking about, because the case we are looking at today is rail traffic control operations. So what's the ideal balance between the human expertise and technology in future traffic control? Should we just should we automate everything? You know, what's the ideal balance? Yes. Who wants to help us? I think
I will say it, yeah. So
yeah, please go ahead.
So for me, I will be looking at or they should be looking at a 70-30 kind of arrangement. Maybe starting
mix,
with
right?
yes, a mix. So technology, more of technology and fewer people. Okay, so 70% technology, 30. But it is something that they need to grow into. It's not just overnight, because as you train more people, you can then get them to acquire these skills on how to use it. So some of them might move to some other roles, okay, that require some sort of serious human intervention. And you then begin to have more of people who have this technological knowledge to either program the system to be able to work well. Because when you put the technology there, there has to be a way where we can feed that technology to operate optimally, to be able to understand exactly what to do.
And that will require human effort.
Yeah, so that's coding of how the system will be controlling the traffic requires a lot of human effort to be able to impute that computation into the system. So at the end of the day, you have very few people who are the experts driving it from behind the scene while the technology is doing the work in the front. Yeah. So 70-30 for me will be the goal.
Okay, 70 technology, 30 human efforts. All right.
Yes, until we get to a point where maybe we'll just need very few of them.
Okay. Okay, the head of our research and publication at the branch, CIPM, of course, even though this is not a CIPM event, but CIPM, all of us, most of us are members of the CIPM. So we have the head of the research and publication of the branch here, Dr. Oshadari. Doctor, sir, thank you for joining us this evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Thank you very much. Even though, like I've said, this is not a CIPM event, but we are learning. And then
yes,
we need more of these to really help the nation to grow. For me, I will advocate for 75-25%.
Okay.
75 to 25% is what I'm going to advocate for. And the reason why I'm advocating for 75% of technology, 25% of human parts. I want a situation whereby the nation can really do more on technology. When you do more on technology, you will still have a lot of people who will help us to drive this technology. So technology should be the order of the day for us. In fact, everywhere I go, why should we have all these from European countries, from China? And we cannot transfer this technology. But I hope that we'll be able to get technology transfer, and then we can have 75-25, and then we can do more for this country. Virtually every area, spheres of life requires technology. And the adoption of technology will help this nation to grow very well, like we have had this evening, including issue of AIs. So I advocate for 75-25, in which some of these technologies that we see abroad, some of these people are our partners, partnering countries, can transfer it to us so that we can be sustainable in the country.
Thank you very much, sir. Yeah, God bless you, sir. Olawale, you have the floor.
Yeah, thank you. I like that, Doctor pushed, towards technology further, to 75%. Initially in my head, I was going to say, 90-10%, 90 technology, 10 human. And now, see my thoughts here, right? Now we're talking 2028, right? And we've said that natural attrition will take care of, all of this before that time.
People, yeah.
And, today, train runs by themselves. Some of us have been to UK. We see a lot of trains that run without humans, literally, right? They will stop at where they need to stop, and there is absolutely nobody, in the train running it. Of course, behind the scene, there will be people doing that. Now, that is 2024. Now, imagine 4 years. Okay, 1, 2. We're talking about not Nigeria, not Africa. We're talking about Europe, Netherlands. That is, of course, of course, also advancing. So if you're thinking 2028, okay, we're talking about, more advancement in technology. Of course, we want to automate more things. So, I'll say maybe 15%, 85%, right? Attrition would have taken care of the oldies. We know that, we are moving towards that transformation. Might be extreme, but the reality is that is the order of the day. We are in the heart of the 4th industrial revolution, where we're talking about big data, we're talking about, connection of things and all of that, right? I'm sure some countries are even moving, into the 5th industrial revolution already, where, some African countries were just scraping the 4th industrial revolution. So if we're in the heart of the 4th industrial revolution, we're talking about technologies being at the center of everything that is being done, literally, right? So, if we are realistic, we want to be talking technology running things, and women. Okay, no, that might be wrong. Technology being using to run things. Of course, we know that it is human that is behind it, right? Automating things. So let's say 15% of human running this, or at most 20%.
Oh, okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you very much. Now, Ugeyi's hand is up. Ngozi's hand is up. Sober Onoma, thank you very much for also unmuting. I know you want to say something, but kindly let me read the next question, so we can also move with the time. So you can now contribute to this new question and then the old one. So permit me to read the next question, and then we can combine both. Please just still hang on there. Those names I mentioned, you'll be the first to contribute. Now, the next question says, how can ProRail best integrate workforce planning data with future technological advancements and potential disruptions in the rail industry? How can this organization managing this, best integrate workforce planning data with future technological advancements and potential disruptions in the rail industry. So if it's the old question you still want to answer, no problem. If it's the new one, you are welcome. So I'll start from Pastor Ogei. Is that an old hand or a new one?
No, so it's a new one.
Okay.
Question
please go
number
ahead.
5.
Yeah.
Question number 5, briefly.
Mm-hmm.
I would advocate, it's something that will be done in a transitionary method. Ultimately, we could get to 90-10 for technology, maybe even higher. So processes will move from full manual to auto manual, where there's a mix, and then fully automatic. We're not going back, right? So yes, and the context is the Netherlands, as has been said by the last speaker. And the Netherlands is not the African setting, for instance, right? So there will be progress in technological advancement.
It's not Ijesha.
So 90-10 and maybe even higher, right? And so that would be my contribution. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, all right. Thank you very much. Before we continue, I'd like to specially recognize one of our very senior pastors. This is Ogun State, and the branch, for your information, I chair the Ogun State branch, and we oversee some of the best chapters, one of which is ROCCG, and we have very, very senior pastors who are assisting the general overseer, and one of them is on this call, Pastor Abdullahi. I'd like to especially recognize you. Thank you for encouraging us. You keep attending all our meetings. Yes, all at your level, and it's an encouragement for us. Before we proceed, we would like you to just say hi to the house, sir.
God bless you. God
Amen,
bless
sir.
every one of you. And the Lord will surprise you.
Amen, sir.
Thank you for imparting so much knowledge into every one of us.
Thank you, sir.
God bless you.
Amen, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Yes,
okay. So that's one of the general overseer's lieutenants, he keeps encouraging us by attending all these meetings. So if at his level, he's still adding more knowledge to what he has, that tells us that we shouldn't relent in acquiring knowledge. So I think I saw a hand. Nobody has attempted question 6. How can ProRail best integrate workforce planning data with, Ngozi, you have the floor, please. Ngozi, I saw your hand, you recognize.
Yes.
Yeah, please.
Thank you. Hello again. Okay, so for question 6, let me just answer that. So, but very briefly, question 5, I agree with what Pastor has said. What I was going to say very quickly is that I don't think we should, as he said, come at it with a hard ratio. Oh, it's 70-30, it's 25-40, it's, I think it's a question of looking at the processes critically and, as Dr. Obina said, mapping them. So what are the processes that can be done safely without human intervention? What are those? There will still be those that will still need that human factor. So it should be a gradual process, as you said, a gradual transition, and the processes should be mapped and categorized and analyzed, and then see what can be moved to technology, technological support immediately, what will need half and half, and so on and so forth. So I think that would have been my own sort of little contribution to that. For question 6, how to integrate workforce planning with future technological advances. Again, as somebody has mentioned, it's all about mapping and knowing which category people fit in and putting them into buckets and then projecting. We've already seen from the case study that a large number of people are meant to be retiring by 2028, which is 4 years away. That means that there'll be significant gaps. How many is many? So they need to know how many is many. What are the positions that the many are occupying? Are these transitions in which the operations they control or conduct or coordinate, are they something that can be moved to this technological platform at once? Is it something that's going to be half and half? If it's half and half, what is the succession plan like for people in the current workforce to move up and move in to those spaces? If it's something that can be moved to technology right away, that's fine. We let them go with our blessing, and then we let the technology do the work. So I think it's just a question of scanning the workforce, identifying who is who, putting them into categories and buckets, placing that against your skill requirements or skill profile that your success profile, sorry, as Chinwe said, and then making those decisions from there alongside your process mapping. Thank you.
So that means we are looking at data here, talking about data.
Yes, please. Yes, please. So we're looking at workforce data, lining it up beside your success profiles, lining it beside your process mapping, in which we know which processes can be digitalized at once, which will have to undergo a transition, maybe 70-30, 50-50, and then finally full automation, and which are those that will stay. Now, for those that are staying, how many of them are in the hands of these ladies and gentlemen that are retiring? If it's enough, if let's say there are 50 people retiring in 2028, and about 60% of what they do is manual and is likely to be manual for a while, then you need to start looking at your succession planning. You need to start looking at people either within or from outside they are going to introduce to take up those roles, right? Or if there are things that can be fully moved to technology, they should be fully moved, and then those job roles will just be allowed to be redundant and basically die off. If it's something that maybe can be merged with other jobs, with technology supporting, then that's, should also be done as well. But the summary of all the things I'm saying is there needs to be analysis, there needs to be data to talk about your workforce, to talk about what skills they have, to talk about what technology is going to do in terms of the processes, and then see how you can align those processes, those tools, those technologies with what you have in-house or what you may have in-house in the next 3 or 4 years.
Thank you very much.
I don't know if that makes sense.
Yes. Absolutely. The strategy workforce planning model should be a dynamic tool, continuously updated with data. All of what you have said, surrounds, just looking at data, ensuring we are strategic about the planning, looking at the technological advancements, industry trends, to ensure ongoing workforce, alignment. It shouldn't be static, and to ensure ongoing workforce alignment, I think, in my opinion, ProRail should continuously integrate new data. Yes, it should continually integrate new data, monitoring developments in, the rail automation, especially at the European rail, is it rail ERTMS, rail transport management system, adjusting, the skills gap, analyzing and training programs accordingly. Thank you very much. We will leave it there because of our time. Now, I've shared our WhatsApp group. It took us efforts to bring everybody here, and we would appreciate if you are not on that TAN HR professionals WhatsApp group. Please just click the link, the WhatsApp link it's not virus. It's our WhatsApp group's link in the chat room. It takes you to this community's WhatsApp platform where we can easily talk to ourselves. EM is there, a lot of the King Kongs, both in Nigeria and outside Nigeria are there. So that's a community. You are free to ask questions there. You are free to also give advice. The goal is that, we must keep growing, we must keep learning, and our skill sets must continue to be robust. So we move to the next one. We move to, where are we now? I think we've done question 6. So we move to 7. What specific training programs will be developed to equip employees with the necessary digital skills for the new traffic control system? What specific training programs will be developed to equip employees with the necessary digital skills for the new traffic control system? Okay, so who wants to go first?
Can you switch to the case study, because we're seeing your WhatsApp screen?
Oh, sorry. It's when I went to copy
the link.
Yes. So let me stop sharing, and Okay. So we're here.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, so we're at specific training programs to be developed to equip employees with the necessary digital skills for the new traffic control system. So who wants to try? Who wants to help us? I think the training program should focus on digital literacy. For me, I mean, we are digitalizing, we are automating, so we should focus on digital literacy, data analysis, systems operations, skills to use for the ERTMS, and potentially new human-machine collaboration protocols. Somebody said this is Netherlands, not not a local village. So technology will keep advancing. We're going to see a lot of artificial intelligence, functionalities, machine learning. A lot of all these factors will come to play, in the future. So there's need to train employees on essential digital skill set like using data management software, navigating new control system interfaces, and understanding the basic programming concepts relevant to this European rail transport management system. I also feel there's need to equip employees with the ability to analyze real-time traffic data, so they can successfully manage, that new system, identifying trends, use data insights to make informed decisions, regarding the traffic flow and the incidents management. They also need to provide comprehensive training on operating and troubleshooting the new ERTMS system. So all of these will include understanding the functionalities, protocols, and perhaps the safety procedures related to the new technology. So I'll leave it there, and so we can move to question 8. How will ProRail translate the strategic workforce planning model into a concrete action plan with timelines and milestones for reskilling and workforce adjustments? How will this organization translate the strategic workforce planning model that they have created into a concrete action plan with timelines and milestones for reskilling and workforce adjustment? So who wants to try? Who wants to try? Okay, Chineye Beatrice Ekekenta. I hope I got that right.
Yes, you did.
Good evening,
Thank
ma.
you. Good evening. Thank you for using the word "who wants to try." So for me, I would say it's the ADI model, right? Now, the first thing is to obviously assess or analyze the situation and ensure its alignment, right? So you evaluate the current workforce capabilities and then assign them or align them with the model requirements. Like every other person has said, you identify the skill gaps and areas needed for improvement. You create your action plan, right, where you assign tasks and responsibilities to relevant teams or individuals. Then you look at the timeline and the milestone. What you're going to do in this area is to establish a detailed timeline. You look at the clear milestone to track progress. Tracking is very important. You set deadlines and allocate resource. We've listed training, so that there are tools and technologies. So you ensure that you allocate resources and then implement. After the implementation stage, it's important that we monitor and evaluate. That's why I use the ADI model. once you monitor and evaluate, by conducting this regular evaluation, you ensure that your objectives are met, right? So for me, these are some of the few steps that you can take. Thank you.
Okay, so you are basically talking about development of a multi-phased plan, right?
Yes.
Development of a multi-phased plan with clear milestones for each of the phases, right?
Yes.
I think that's very, very correct. Thank you very much for that contribution. I mean, we do that, we'll be able to control the implementation and adjustments, based on learnings. We're able to do a lot around that, and we can start with pilot reskilling programs for even smaller groups of employees, so that we just test how this training, the acceptability, of these training programs, and the impact, on just this small group of employees, and then we set clear milestones for each phase, and we move on from there. Continuous monitoring is also important, as we move on with these journeys. Okay, so she practically nailed it, and I think we can just leave it there because of time. So our next question says, how can ProRail effectively communicate the strategic workforce planning initiative and its implications for employees throughout the process? I think we've dealt with this question earlier, but I don't think we went into details. But let's not overflog issues. Proactive communication is as simple as that, through various channels. I think the question was repeated in another language, just proactive communication through various channels, utilizing various channels, a mix of communication channels, town hall meetings, internal newsletters, dedicated websites, team briefings to reach all employees effectively. And then was it Iggy who said we should also look for champions, people among the employees that can reach other people, people talking to people, so that will really help, clearly explaining the goals of the strategic workforce plan, how it aligns with this big digital vision that they said they have, and the rationale behind the automation. This is also very key. Also, clearly explaining the goals and highlighting how these reskilling programs will create new career paths for them. Everybody like better thing, and how it's going to enhance their skill sets, making them more valuable in the future. Even if they leave the organization, I mean, what they have learned. So they take it away and they become, King Kongs wherever they go. And then, we need to also hold regular Q&A sessions, to address the concerns of these people, openly and honestly. Don't be all these ones where we won't be letting out, some information. We need to be honest about this, providing clear information about potential job security. Because again, that's the number one fear people have when change is coming, implications and all of these, how the organization plans to manage the reduction in workforce through natural attrition. So somebody also said we should let employees, contribute to this, their inputs in the whole of this also matters. So we'll leave it there. Now, the next question, how should ProRail adapt its performance management system to assess and reward skills relevant to the digitized environment? Where are the performance management experts here? Okay, Fumi, you have the floor. Are you trying to contribute? You are muted. Fumi. Okay, I think that was an accident. Okay. So who wants to try? Who wants to? Okay, Ngozi, yeah, you have the floor. Ngozi, please go ahead.
Thank you. Sorry, my technology is also giving me stress here.
No problem.
Okay, thank you very much. So just really quickly, I would say, if they're just to start from the basics, if their performance management system, of which appraisal or evaluation is a part, was not digitalized, you'll be surprised it might not have been. They need to do so now. Because, I mean, you want to be consistent in your story. As much as possible, you want to digitalize not just these operational issues, but as many processes as you can as well, just to create that enabling environment all around. So first of all, they might want to digitalize. So whether it's their training and development delivery, maybe using an LMS, whether it is using a specific PMS platform to conduct the evaluations, they might want to digitalize first of all. The second thing they might want to do is, as we've been saying in so many ways and in so many words, is to define the skills or the competencies that are expected to be demonstrated and therefore learnt or acquired. So they need to be defined. We can't just say, okay, it's good to know how to press the red button. I don't know if I'm making any sense. There has to be like clearly defined.
Yeah.
So the competency has to be clearly defined. What is the name and how is it supposed to be demonstrated? And to what level is it supposed to be demonstrated across different job roles, across different levels? And then you want to then look at how effective, I'm trying to say how it is now. So when you've defined your competencies, when you've talked about what kind of things are supposed to be demonstrated, behavior, skills, deliverables, and so on, you then create your goals and so on around the delivery, the learning, and the delivery of those competencies. And then you can come up with a reward system. If ProRail already has a reward system, they might want to look at it again and tweak it so that it encourages people who are quick to learn, quick to adapt, quick to adopt. And the reward doesn't even necessarily have to be money, although promotion, career growth, and so on. It can just be as good as saying, maybe in the what do they call them now? In the team meetings or in the town halls or on their internal communication system, just saying, oh, well done to these guys. They've learned XYZ, they've delivered, this skill excellently, give them a round of applause or, send them a congratulation message. It can be something as basic as that. It can even be something like, okay, I don't know, I can't remember the name of the company that created the software. Maybe good people who are doing well will actually send you to that company if possible. So you can actually see, some of the thinking behind, how this thing was created and so on. So it can be different kinds of rewards, not just money, career growth or promotion and so on. At the same time, there should also be they should also look at the consequence management situation for those who are proving reluctant despite all, for those who have frankly said, you know what, we don't want, maybe we should have a conversation about moving on, and some will be that way. So, I mean, for me, it's all about what are we trying to achieve and how can we measure success and all the enabling processes and policies and tools and so on that will go along to facilitate that. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. A lot of King Kongs here. We have the immediate past HR director of Globalcom here. The immediate past human resource director of Globalcom. He also chaired the Oyo State branch of CIPM. Dr. Murakinyo Oloyede. God bless you, sir. Please, you can't just drop a chat here and you won't say hi to us. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. And
good evening, sir.
I've been following the discussion. Wonderful explanations and submission. What I dropped there is similar to what she just spoke about. Identifying the competencies required, let it be communicated, to make it a matter of compulsion that people will need to acquire. It has to be something that is rated on the appraiser, so they know that they're going to lose that weight attached to it if they don't acquire that competencies. If not, organization will be going one way, individual will be going the other way, and it's going to be some kind of blackmail to frustrate the whole essence of what the organization want to achieve. But having communicated it, like the competency management, they know that if I don't acquire this competence and it is tested to have been evaluated, I'm going to lose 10 marks or 15 marks out of my appraiser. It becomes something that everybody in the organization will have no choice than to acquire. And by so doing, they will gradually help the organization to achieve that purpose of ensuring that the competence required for the future use of the organization is acquired by all and sundry. Thank you very much.
God bless you, sir. I mean, you actually nailed it. I'm seeing a Bettina here. There's only one Bettina I know, and she's the most powerful woman in the whole of CIPM Ogun State, because she's the one chairing a conference planning committee and the chairman of CIPM Alta chapter. Mrs. Bettina, I hope this is Mrs. Bettina Bangboshe. If you are the one, please unmute and say hi. Bettina, I'm seeing a Bettina here.
Good evening, Chairman. Good evening, everybody.
Oh, good evening, ma. There's no two person be Bettina for Nigeria. If you know be Panadol, it cannot be the same thing as Panadol. God bless you, ma. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for the wonderful section. Thank you for the learnings that we've had. It's been awesome. We are grateful for all that you do, for enriching our lives continually. Thank you so very much. And for all the facilitators, thank you for impacting our lives. Thank you very much. And thank you for everyone that's on this call. I know we'll keep growing, we'll keep getting better and impacting our various organizations and improving on ourselves. Thank you very much, everybody.
God bless you, man. So let me help you advertise. She has one business, and it's a KPI issue for her, you know. She has this weight on her shoulders. She chairs the conference planning committee, the 10th edition for our branch, and is a huge one coming up. The fee is just 50,000 naira, and it's taking place, I think, first week of September. No, second week of September. So please, yeah, second week of September. So please, we implore you to register. We will share the registration link on all the platforms. So please register. You can join virtually, you can attend physically. Please help our sister, help the branch. Because it's the 10th edition, you know, it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be cocastic, very, very interesting and highly enriching sessions we're going to have. So, Ms. Bettina Bangboshe, I've helped you. I use this platform, even though this is not CIPM platform, I've used this platform to help you advertise your event. So you pay me for free publicity later. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
God bless you, ma. So the last question, because we need to go, but before we take the last question, I think we should follow ourselves. I just dropped, I've shared my LinkedIn account in the chat room. A lot of us have also shared, so please just drop your LinkedIn account there. Let's follow ourselves everywhere. You can ask questions, you can also read about us online. So it's something we can do, and it's something we should do right away. So I've dropped mine there. I know EM has dropped his. Babatunde has also dropped it. So just click and follow, and also drop yours so we can connect with ourselves. We won't be in a hurry to end this meeting, so we can, even after the session, we can follow the chat and click on the various links that have been shared there. Okay, so having said that, we move to the last question. How can ProRail optimize costs associated with reskilling and potential redundancy during the transition? You know, say they don't get money. So how can they optimize costs associated with reskilling and potential redundancy during the transition? So who wants to give this a shot? Who want to give this a shot? Okay, Solomon. Okay. The big fish, please hold on, sir. EM. Let's hear. Yeah, okay, Solomon, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Badiru, and good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I just want to just chip in something based on this question. Even though they said they don't have money, I was thinking of the fact that if they have a trade union in place, they will need to have that discussion with the trade union concerning any redundancy that they're going to do and concerning the payment that they're going to make and all those things. So it's part of the things that they need to think about when they want to go ahead with this kind of thing. I remember that Iggy said something about champions, and I also thought about that if there was a union in place, it's part of the people that part of the strategy that they can use going through the unions to be able to get the people convinced and all that one. And then when it comes to the issue of redundancy also, they might have to have that discussion also with the unions. That's it. I just want to chip in. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. EM.
Okay, so what I wanted to chip in is that, you know, when we started at the beginning, we saw where it was said that some of them are aging, and so they'll be retiring on their own, you know. And since this transition is supposed to be done over a period of time, so there was no need for them to be in a haste to start asking people to go. So people would naturally, you know, exit through the regular process because they've reached retirement. So that's one way that will save costs. Then the second one is because this technology is being, there's a company that they are working with, you know, so they need to explore to see are there funds available from either this particular company or any other agency within the country that supports digital literacy, and see how they can partner with them. So that will remove the cost of the reskilling, you know, or reduce the cost, how much they're going to invest in reskilling. If you take, for example, what's happening in Nigeria now, there are several agencies that are interested in providing digital skills, and they are sponsoring those things. So how do we partner with them? So that will help them take away that particular cost. So at the end of the day, the people that they might have to let go might be very few. So that redundancy cost will not be as high as ordinarily asking everybody to go because we want to bring in, what do you call it, people with the kind of digital skills that we need. So those are some of the things, yes.
Okay, thank you very much. I mean, you really, you nailed it. You need to explore cost-effective training solutions like e-learning modules, you know, online courses, you know, partnerships with educational institutions offering, you know, specialized training programs in digital literacy as it relates to the ERTMS operations. They need to investigate potential upscaling programs offered by these ERTMS. I hope I called that correctly. European Rail Transportation Management System. Yeah, ERTM. You know, the programs may be designed specifically for this ERTMS technology and potentially offered at a competitive rate. You know, based on negotiation these guys will have with these vendors, they will be able to strike a good deal that will be beneficial, that won't really cost them much. Also, they need to consider offering incentives to employees who successfully complete the reskilling programs. It could be in form of bonuses, tuition reimbursements. You go, you learn, and then you come back with, the evidence that you are paid and you attended, and you did these skills, you've developed these skills and competencies needed for this new phase of our company, and then we reimburse you. I also encourage knowledge sharing internally. Those we don't learn, come back and teach the people where they here, we never know. Knowledge sharing among employees. The highly skilled employees can mentor colleagues and potentially reduce, external training dependency. So these are just some of the things we could do. So that's all. I think we've exhausted the questions, and it's been a fantastic 1 hour. We spent 1 hour, 17 minutes, in this session, knowledge sharing session. Even though the meeting started at 6:30 with prayers, we don't joke with God here, because we can't do anything without him. So we meet every Sunday, 6:30 to 7. The prayer team will have swung into action, praying to God, interceding on behalf of all of us, calling on God to help us succeed in life. And then by 7, I take the center stage to coordinate this session. So thank you, everyone. At the time, we got to 64 people on the call, even though people go in and out. Thank you very much for still being here at this time. So we will continue the discussion, the conversations on our platform, and you can continue asking questions and then continue dropping contributions. Next week, I think with this, we can wrap up the workforce planning module, and from next week, we move to the next phase. I think that will be recruitment. Like I told you when we started this journey, we are not in a hurry. We are not here to prove to anybody that we know anything, because we don't even know anything. So we are not in a hurry to finish, HR. We can take this journey for 1 year until we exhaust and our skills. We exhaust the curriculum and we have very robust HR skills. So we'll take it function by function. We've been on the workforce planning, function, I think for about 4 weeks now. We take recruitment and selection. We can merge it with onboarding, depending on how robust each of these case studies are and the curriculum is. So when we are done with that, we'll move to the next one, learning and development, performance management. We keep taking it one after the other until we exhaust this curriculum. And when we are done with that, we move completely to another field. It could be accounting, it could be finance, it could be marketing, it could be sales. Shall know this platform, we shall they learn, they go, they enjoy ourselves, and then we'll be able to add value to our lives, our organizations, and our families.